Now we want to talk about how Nigeria education sector, how it has been in 2023, and lessons we could draw from it to better the sector in 2024. 2023 is a peculiar year in the sense that we had two administrations. We had the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari that handed over to the administration of President Bola Tinubu. So if we are to take that into consideration, I'll be starting with you, Dr. Pierce. If we are to take that into consideration of two administrations, how would you rate how they have performed when it comes to education? Which challenges do you feel unveiled then when the session was going on, and what lessons do you think we could draw from it to better education sector in 2024?
In order for us to improve the educational system, we must eliminate corruption and we must enforce the law. One of your speakers said there's a lot of corruption. Nigerians are comfortable with corruption so long as it doesn't affect them or they benefit from it. I don't agree with that. Human beings, if you're a philosopher and you study human philosophy, human history, there's nowhere in the world at any time that people will not be corrupt if they can get away with it. The problem in Nigeria is the corruption is scot-free. Nobody's really, since the government that can fight corruption is itself corrupt, it's not fighting corruption. So we must enforce the law. Now, regarding education, if you don't enforce the law, this is what happens. Number one, you are going to do JAM. They have specific examination venues where they give them exam results, the questions. The corruption is immense. So who gets into the university? I taught in the university for many years, both here and in the United States. At the University of Lagos, you find a group of students, and you wonder, how did you get here? How did you pass JAM? Well, maybe evidently somebody took the exam for him or her. So this is where the problem begins. So we are graduating students who are not worthy of being graduated, who are not qualified. That is one problem. The other problem, of course, is we are not investing in education. So when you don't have good elementary schools, you have dysfunctional secondary schools. By the time they enter the university, that's why they fight to enter the university. And they have to get in by any means necessary, and nobody is enforcing the law. So what we must do is first, people say it's the people, it's not government. It's all about government. One doctor came to an event once, he went to a bank, he said, I want to release my money because I need to buy medication for my patients, And the bank said, they can't do anything until 48 hours. And the doctor was so frustrated. He said, you see, this is not government now. This is the people, the bank. I said, sir, it's not the bank. I said, the bank is doing this because nobody's holding the bank accountable. You cannot do this in the US. There's a monitoring authority that will hold the bank accountable. When it comes to medical issues, this is how you deal with it. If you don't deal with it, you are in trouble. So the point I'm making is the whole system. When we say the buck stops with the president and the Senate, it is true. You can't do anything with education in Nigeria. The last administration, Buhari administration, Tinubu's administration himself said it's a continuation of Buhari's administration. Both of them are semi-illiterates. They don't have any concept for education. It shows in their budget, and if they can't enforce the law, there are people now that are being accused of all sorts of things. Say you're a doctor. Doctor of what? Honorary doctorate is being paraded as PhD. This is the problem. Now you're talking about people in show business who have honorary doctorate. Leave them alone. That's not the problem. The problem is if you're employing somebody as a minister and you're calling him doctor, you're giving him the privileges of a doctor of philosophy, a bona fide PhD, and you only have a honorary doctorate. and you are claiming to be a professional, the one thing, and you don't have the qualification. This is where our problem is.
All right, Dr. Yes, let us quickly go to Dr. Ishola Akindele Salami because we are quickly running out of time. So what lessons do you think we could learn from 2023 that we might use in 2024 to better the education sector?
Thank you, my sister. I will say this bluntly. Actually, it is an uncommon position. But that's the solution to our problem. I won't lie to you. Nigerian government has been, from inception, shifting their responsibilities, their social responsibilities, to the parents. I want to tell you that society owns the children. Society owns the resources. The society that owns the resources supposed to use its resources to train these children. But because of African culture that we have, that when you have a child, people say it's my child, when your child is successful, it is the parents' own. It is a lie. When a child is successful, it is the society that gains the most. I can tell you authoritatively that since I've been teaching in the universities for 17 years, I've never taught my mother, I've never taught my father, I've never taught any of my siblings. I've been working for the society. The society is, and the government is supposed to see this and train every child in the society. So the only thing I want us to learn, I mean, maybe our government to learn, is that there is no amount of insufficient fund or amount of we are going to deal with them in courts, or we are amount of legal means or whatever means they think they have that they can use to better education. There's none. The only thing they can do to better education in Nigeria is to take up their responsibility. We have stories of countries now where education is so expensive before, but now that they have taken it up to university level, it is the government that will pay everything about their education.
All right,
Nigeria have more than resources to do this. We have more than enough.
We do not have enough
Thank
time
you.
to say apologies about that. So very quickly to Dr. Peter Obudoro, could you please give us a closing remark on this? What do you think we can do in 2024 to better the education sector? Please, very quickly.
Yeah, we need to get our philosophy of education right and acknowledge that indeed education remains the bedrock of development. If you get it right, most of the other problems society, is grappling with will disappear.
Exactly.
We also, as a people, we should recognize that educating our children and young people is the responsibility of all of us. And when we say all of us, government represents us. Our societies that know what they're doing place that responsibility squarely on the shoulders of government. I just returned from Finland where I went to do educational research, and I sat down with the people who run the system. And I did ask them the question, how did the people get here? They said the politicians are the ones who made their society what it has become. The politicians have made it possible for education to become the responsibility of government. So you study for free from kindergarten up to PhD.
But we have run out of time. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us on the program. We truly appreciate it.